Hello, and welcome to the Studio 25 Podcast Network with Creative Outpost and executive producer David E. Warner. This is Steve Cully's Festivus of Sports. Yes, it's a Festivus for all of us this time of the year. I'm putting up my poll as we speak, and I'm going to have the airing of grievances with everyone I've had an issue with. That's what Festivus is about. And with me, as always, my partner in crime, my cohort and co-host, UConn legendary quarterback, Shane Stfford. Shane,
what's going on, man?
Do you know Festivus, Shane?
I know it from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Okay. So you know the premise is Festivus. Yeah, you put the metal pole up, and they have what's called the airing of grievances.
Yeah.
And then you go around the room and you tell everyone how they've disappointed you over the last year.
I love it.
So I want to have a real Festivus. I want to have a real Festivus, and we're going to have an airing of grievances and how we'll do a Festivus episode on sports, on like players or certain teams that have disappointed us and air our grievances with them. I think that would be a great idea.
That would be phenomenal, man. That is how the universe works right now. Everybody wants to air their nonsense out, and they don't ever want to listen to anybody else. So I think you have a great idea going on.
I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to do a Festivus. We're gonna have to do it when it gets closer to Christmas. We're gonna do the Festivus episode. So the news of the day, which was probably not super surprising,
right?
But the New York Football Jets, as we've talked about many times on the show, have finally they fired their general manager. You know, first it was Robert Saleh, now it is GM Joe Douglas. He was in the final year of his contract, so chances are he was not going to be renewed. Right. And if anyone deserves to go, I kind of think it's him. He's had some really, really poor draft classes. When he went with Zach Wilson. He drafted Sam Darnold. I think he gave up on Sam Darnold a little early. I never really bought into Zach Wilson, but the roster that he's put together, and then taking a shot at Aaron Rodgers, I kind of get it, because you're thinking it's Tom Brady all over again. But you didn't have the receivers to back it up like Tom Brady had. So I understand it. I just think the Jets are going down.
I'm going to say this. Aaron, he was 22 of 29 this past weekend.
He was.
And that's nothing to sniff at. Like,
not at all.
So you need people to make plays. And Devontae Adams, who Aaron wanted to bring in, he had 6 catches for 72 yards, averaging over 10 yards a catch.
They lost by a point. Yeah, I agree with you.
So okay, so you mean to tell me, Joe, Brother Joe, like, what are you doing, Brother Joe? Like,
well, I think it started because Woody Johnson fired Saleh without even telling him. That was like the biggest thing. Like, you fire your head coach, but you don't consult your general manager. You just do it. But I guess if you're the owner, you can do whatever you want.
Well, yeah, you can. You can do absolutely whatever you want. I think, I honestly, number one, I don't think the ownership, who am I to say? I mean, that owner has made a bunch of decisions that you and I would never, ever, probably in our lifetime, understand or make, with making $1 billion and $1 million investments and things of that nature, and the stress of those things. But what you and I do understand is football relationships, the difference of an ownership group or an ownership that just knows money instead of knowing personalities.
They just want to win.
I
They
think
don't
there's
care
a
how it's done.
huge disconnect with Jets ownership and what they need to do. Like, I mean, is it ironic that Aaron Rodgers has followed, his predecessor to the
I was
Jets?
thinking that too.
And then is he going to go to Minnesota and follow Brett Favre again because Minnesota was Sam Darnold, who just left the Jets? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Brett Favre was a year younger than Rodgers this time, but
yeah,
it's still a situation. I agree with you where if you put
there's so much
Rodgers on
irony.
a team with talent
Yeah,
like that, he's going to be successful. Right now, he's very limited with the pieces around him. Like the Chicago Bears, I think have talent.
Yeah, but I will say this: I think it like honestly, if Aaron Rodgers were with Minnesota, Minnesota is going to be competitive in that in their division.
They are. I mean,
and the running game and the offensive line and defense they have, he would be phenomenal. The Jets just do not have the backing. I've seen this happen time and time again. And like I've told Dave many times, brother, many times, I know it's only arena football, but I have seen it happen in arena football because you get close to ownership as a quarterback. Next thing you know, you learn certain guys, certain owners, man, they don't care about it. They just want to be happy to be a part of, oh, I'm the owner of this. I'm the owner of that.
The camaraderie, yeah.
Man, it's BS, bro. And the ownership, I think, in New York, it needs to change. Or he needs to allow the GM, the president, the head coaches, let them do what they do and get your ass away from it because
don't micromanage.
Yeah, bro, that's exactly right, man. He's killing his own investment is what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I think it's kind of the same thing with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is just like happy to be the owner of the Cowboys, where he used to be like a stone cold killer about winning, and he has tolerated head coaches for longer periods before giving up on them. With Jason Garrett especially.
Yeah.
So Mike McCarthy is in the last year of his contract. I doubt that he'll be retained, but I just read an article saying that it will not surprise some people, that if he is retained, because Jerry Jones doesn't want someone in there that's going to ruffle feathers, that's going to tell him no, that's going to cause problems. He likes having a yes man who does things easy. So
Garrett, that's exactly why Garrett was in there, bro. Nobody.
Oh yeah.
Because Jason Garrett, respectfully, that's who he was, and he did win some games. He was a good coach, knew his X's and O's, great backup. He was on those football. He just didn't
win playoff games.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts then if we're talking about Jerry Jones real quick? What about Dion? You heard those rumors. What about Dion?
Man, Schumann and my other co-host last night were talking about this, and they are convinced that Dion is leaving. Dion's going to leave. He said Shador will be gone. I'm not sure if his other son is going to be gone, but he turned around Colorado. They're 8-2 this year. He hasn't been as vocal as he was last year when they were losing. He's kind of quieted down. But the guy, you got to give him credit. He came out of nowhere. He was coaching a high school. Then he goes to Jackson State
Right.
and turns that around. Spends $1 million of his own money to put it into to build a football facility for them.
Great tax write-off.
Yeah, great tax write-off. And then, like, everyone thought he was nuts taking the Colorado job. Like, everyone said it's not a good job to take. Like, why would you take
Guy's a
that?
winner.
Yeah. And he took it. He got Travis Hunter. He's recruited tremendously well. But I mean, he's on a 5-year, $30 million contract when he was hired at Colorado. So, I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't know what the buyout is.
So let me ask you this: do you think money is anything to Deion? Deion was the one.
I don't think
He was the one that stated, "Hey, if you look good, you play good. If you play good, you get paid good."
Yeah.
He started.
Yeah.
He started
Yeah.
way back when. Look, Skip
Yeah.
Holtz. Skip Holtz used to say, Deion Sanders would say, "Money on the hill. Who's next?" When
Yes.
he talked about 101. Money on
Yes.
the hill. Who's next? And
Oh
if
my
you've ever
God! I
been
can't
to
believe
Florida
you just
State,
told me that.
yeah. If you ever
Somebody
been to
else
Florida-
just told me that story.
Yep. And down at Florida State, the way the practice facility was, yes, I understand why they say that. But Deion is his own man, and I think Deion will. I can see it happening. He doesn't care about money. He cares about his kids. Deion he's so. In my opinion, he is so misperceived. Like, people think he's a selfish, arrogant dude. Deion wants to win, and he wants his family to be successful. He does things, but he does it for the right reasons.
Correct.
I have so much love for that dude, man.
And he's changed his tune and toned things down this year, and they're winning. They're probably going to be in the Big 12 championship game, so I think that's huge.
Yeah, they'll probably be in the college football playoffs.
They will, yeah. If they win the Big 12,
Right.
They'll get in, and even if they lose, there's a chance they could get in. So, in 2 years, they were 2-11, I think, or 1-11 when he came in.
Yep.
And they struggled last year, and now they're 8-2. So imagine they finish out 10-2, and who would they play in the Big 12?
Would it be you? No, it wouldn't be. Who would it be?
The Big 12. The Big 12. Maybe Missouri. I'm not sure. I gotta look at the standings. I'm gonna check. I'll check the standings.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Because it'd be interesting to see.
24. That's crazy. I should have already had this looked up.
So it would be.
It might be BYU.
Oh, BYU. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So see, I didn't know. Has every conference gone to, like, they eliminated divisions and it's just the top 2 teams play?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it looks like. But
yeah.
Because I thought it was only the Big Ten that was doing that, but if that's the case,
I think it is.
I know Oregon's clinched.
Yes.
So it would be, and BYU barely escaped Utah. So, but I mean, even the Big 12 rankings, I mean, they're 14, 16, 21, 22. They're very, very high rankings.
And that's partially because the ACC is awful this year.
Yeah, the ACC is SMU is leading the ACC.
Yeah, it's
who would have thought that?
Pac-12 is god awful.
Well, I don't think there is a Pac-12
or
anymore.
Pac-10, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, there technically is a Pac-12 conference,
Yeah,
but I don't know if they're guaranteed a spot.
yeah.
But
I'm just saying how terrible it
yeah,
is right now.
no, it is. It is. I mean, the SEC's got everyone ranked. I mean,
Yeah. So,
Texas
yeah,
A&M. How can Texas A&M be? Oh, because of the
yeah,
league losses.
yeah.
They're ranked. They're ranked ahead of Georgia in the
Dude,
SEC.
A&M, if they win out, they'll easily be in the college. They might
Yeah.
even win
Yes.
that conference.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy right now. And the Big Ten, they may only get one team in.
Yeah. I have not been overly impressed with the Big Ten,
Yeah,
even though they have the highest ranked teams.
yeah.
Or
This is
Oregon's ranked
Indiana,
number one.
dude. Yeah,
In the
The SEC has what 5, 6. I think they have five. They have five teams with um
they have 7 teams, but they have a lot of teams with two losses,
2 losses.
and it's
Exactly.
because they beat up on each other because it's
Yes,
the best
exactly.
conference.
And the Big Ten has like every team with one loss, but they
Correct.
don't really play much.
No, they don't play. The schedule
Out
is
of yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
The Big Ten's not huge. That's why
no.
this Indiana Ohio State game this weekend. If Indiana beats Ohio State, that is truly going to screw up the whole Big Ten as far as how many teams get in.
Well, and nobody expected Michigan to be as poor as they've
Yeah,
been. Not
yeah.
poor, but
And I can
um,
see Michigan beating Ohio State potentially because that rivalry game, you never know.
Michigan overall is 5-5, and I
Yeah.
think that's why Harbaugh got out of there. He kind of knew the writing
Oh,
was on the
sure.
wall. It was a rebuild. But
Absolutely. Bro.
I did want to ask you, going back to the NFL,
Yeah.
um, since we're I love doing the bad news first. The New York Football Giants
Oh, man.
have officially moved on from one Daniel Jones. Uh,
Yes.
Not only is he not the backup, he's the emergency guy, and they're rolling the dice with Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of people think that it's unfair that he doesn't have a lot around him, and it's not all his fault. But
Yeah.
they're coming off a bye week, and I think they had to do something. And what I do like seeing is that Saquon Barkley's just shoving it up their ass. Saquon
Yeah.
Barkley rushed for
Oh,
146 yards,
killing it.
and Philadelphia beat Washington. But Saquon Barkley, I still go back to the Hard Knocks, and it just makes me want to burn something down. Saquon Barkley has 197 carries on the year. He has 1,137 yards. He's got eight touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, Joe Shane, you dipshit, Joe Shane. Oh yeah, Saquon. Yeah, why don't you test the market and get back to us? Let us know what you get. And he was just so nonchalant, no sense of urgency, didn't really care, and let him go. And John Mara says, "Well, if he goes to the Eagles, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night." John Mara, I hope you have had insomnia for 16 weeks
Ah,
because you allowed your general manager to
yeah.
sign Devin freaking Singletary
Yeah.
and say he's the answer, he's the guy. We're going to replace Saquon Barkley with him, and
Yeah.
and he's going to get it done. Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Good call on that one.
Saquon hands down, is without a doubt, like he's a generational, as they say, quote unquote.
He is, yes.
He is.
Yes.
He,
Yeah. The issue was, I mean, I understand that
the injuries.
he was injured.
Yeah.
He had some injury issues. I completely understand that.
When you get overworked early on in
Right.
your career in the NFL, you're gonna get hurt every
Yeah,
now and then.
of
Well,
course.
what he was doing is, I'm sure, was trying to overcompensate the competitor Saquon Barkley is, that we now see. He was probably putting himself in those, and the Giants didn't say, "Hey, slow your roll, bro." You're
Well, yeah, I mean, every team, mostly does running back by committee. And the
yeah,
Giants really were feeding on him. I mean,
yeah.
they just fed him and fed him and
But
fed him,
and not only were they feeding him, they
and
were
they got him
giving him
hurt.
like up the gut. They were doing things to where he was taking big time shots.
Oh
And
yeah, all the
where
time.
now
Yeah,
with the Eagles, they're doing things with Jalen Hurts now where he's getting
correct.
one-on-one matchups on the second level to where he's not taking those shots by the 300 pounders. That's what
Correct.
people don't realize, man. He's getting
He,
one-on-one matchups and he's
he's
winning those.
he's being protected, and you're right. They're
Yeah,
being creative with how they get him the ball,
correct.
and it's definitely made a difference.
Yeah.
But the Giants situation, nothing has been really done yet. But
Giants got a long way to go. They might as well blow
no, no,
that.
no. But I'm saying, like, do you think that they should dump Joe Shane and Dayball, and completely rebuild it, tear it down, or do you think they have enough pieces in place where they can plug a few holes and be competitive?
I don't. Do they have enough? Here's the thing: draft equity. Do they have things
I
they can
think they do. I
do?
don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't believe they traded up for neighbors, but
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
I think they
The
have the
Giants
draft
seem to
picks.
be where the Giants always are.
Yeah.
Like you got good players in certain positions, but you don't truly commit or have a plan. Like that's
Right.
frustrating
Right.
about them.
Right.
They always seem to do that, and yeah, they may hit for 1 year, but the only true person they committed to was Manning. And when they did that, they won 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they had a great defense. They had Strahan. They had great leadership. They had
Yep.
great leadership on the defense side of the football, like men on the
Antonio Pierce. Yep.
yeah,
100%.
bro. They had men on the defensive, on the first level, second level, and third level. They had men on that defense. They
Yes.
don't have that right now, man.
In
And
2007 they did.
I'm
They did.
curious how they're going to rebuild this thing because they need to rebuild it. They need to. I truly believe they're close to being like Dallas was this or is this year. They're like literally 1 year away from being that.
Well, like, I'm trying to think. Like, they have neighbors. They found a running back in Tracy. The offensive line is a mess. It's
It's. I was going to
patchwork.
say it's average at best.
They lost their best offensive lineman in the preseason. I think getting him back makes a difference. They're not great at the tight end position. And, I thought Slayton and Neighbors would have been fine.
Yeah.
They would have been above average receivers. And, they could have at least won 7 or 8 games.
But is that your standard now in New York?
No, it's not my standard at all.
No,
I'm just saying that
I'm just saying. Like, is that what New York is wanting? Just hey,
apparently, like I said to you, if I was watching Hard Knocks and I'm in the room with the front office and the coaches and the GM, and he's going through the roster and he's like pounding his fist on the table, saying, "Man, we got it. Look at this squad, top to bottom. We're solid. We're going to dominate everyone. This is a team that's going to win a Super Bowl." Like, I could picture him saying that, and I'm like, "Are you looking at these guys? And this is really who you're going to roll out for the 2024 season? This is who we're going with? Like, are you out of your mind? Like,
You
it
and
just
I
seems
both
so
know.
stupid.
If that was, you and I both know, we've been at very high competitive levels. And if that's what the GM and management and head coach
They
says,
thought that,
oh, we're going to kill it, we're going to dominate. No, the great ones say we need to get better. We need to find a way to compete within the organization. We need to find somebody to make this guy better, to make that guy better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're good
across
on
the board.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we got to find ways to create competition. The great ones do that. The great organizations always have some way to create competition
From
within.
within, yes.
Yes.
And that makes you better all around.
Yes,
All
exactly.
around, that makes you better.
And I feel like the Giants and Jets, somehow they just want to make the community happy, just enough. They never want to be too bad, and they're okay with being good enough.
Yeah, with mediocrity. I mean, the Jets, I think, have the longest playoff drought, and the Giants have been, I mean, they were good in Dayball's first season. Was it 2022? And then last year was awful, and this year was awful. And now they're rolling with Tommy Cutlets, Tommy DeVito. We're going to throw him out there.
Tommy Cutlets.
Over Drew Lock. And you like Drew Lock, I recall.
I did.
You like Drew Lock.
And I do. I like him. I don't think he's going to be a championship quarterback, but I think he's a guy that you can put in there and he'll win you a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never a Drew Lock fan. He was a first-round draft pick by the Broncos.
Yeah.
They were grasping at straws trying to replace Peyton Manning. And
he's a great second guy. And
I think he's a backup. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I meant by liking Drew Lock. Yeah. Like, you don't just when you say you like somebody, it doesn't mean you absolutely think he's going to be your franchise quarterback.
Absolutely. But, I misunderstood.
He's good enough to win you games.
Yes. He should be able to come in and win 2 or 3 games if he had to.
Yeah.
That's what you want out of your backup quarterback.
Certainly.
So, but I don't understand I don't understand why passing over him and going right to DeVito, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that. And they're saying it's because Locke didn't show much in the action that he did have. So they're going to give DeVito a chance. I remember DeVito was pissed last year when sorry.
Danny DeVito is coming back. Throw mom off the train.
I remember that he was pissed because they played Tyrod Taylor ahead of him.
Yeah.
In the last game. And he was upset about that. He felt that he had done a good enough job, but as is. So
and he should be pissed off about it. Like,
I mean, he was on a roll. Yeah, I agree. I'd
be completely furious.
I agree. And he came back with a chip on his shoulder. And you know what? Good for him. He's getting his chance. He stuck it out. He's getting his chance. Okay. Now the good news.
I hope Tampa Bay beats that ass. I'm sorry. That's my
for New York fans. The Buffalo Bills circled the wagons and defeated the Kansas City Chiefs, giving them their first loss of the season, 30-21. Were you surprised by this at all? Like Kansas City was getting by and winning games, but they weren't winning them in like convincing fashion. Mm-hmm. Buffalo, I felt, was winning games in convincing fashion and just dominating people. And I had felt that Buffalo was probably the best team in the AFC, if not the NFL. Everyone else says it's Kansas City.
Sure.
What were your thoughts here?
I was not surprised at all. To your question, was I surprised? No. I didn't think that football game would go any other way. Um, Kansas City, what they learned from this game is Patrick Mahomes. You can't throw 2 picks, bro. You can't turn the ball over against a great team, and that's what he did.
And
And
he's done that all year long.
yeah,
He's thrown a lot of picks. Yeah.
but here's what happens when you're such a great team, and I'll never forget this, was when Skip Holtz told us one time, you got to learn how to continuously be successful. And he's absolutely right. Now, granted, we weren't on the stage that Kansas City's on, but
Right.
think about it though, bro, they come to work every day. You know as well as I do how difficult it is to go to practice, to get up at 6 a.m., to have to throw weights around during the season just to stay in like somewhat shape and strong and get that lactic acid out of your system, then go to practice, then watch film. Then watch film, then go to practice, then watch more film, then do whatever you're doing to help your body outside of that. It gets so repetitiously like exhausting.
It's monotonous. Yes.
And physically. So, you know what? The fact that they went up there to Buffalo in a game that to them, this was a huge game. Don't get me wrong. Because if they lose another game, they may lose home field advantage. They should, of all games.
You're talking about Buffalo.
Yeah, to Buffalo. They should have lost this game. This is like the biggest one. But they did. Whatever, it is what it is. So where I'm going with all this is, hey, dude, sometimes there's a little chink in your armor. Do I feel like Kansas City is not the best team in the AFC? I still think they are. What I think you saw was a valiant effort by a guy that put on a cape, as Dan Orlowski said. And I appreciate the way he said that. But truly, without him, they wouldn't have won that game. He made some unbelievable plays. And if he can do that now when it counts in the playoffs, God bless him. And this may be his opportunity to make that next step, just like it was for the Colts when they beat New England, just like it was for San Francisco way back in the 80s when they beat Dallas, just like it was for all those other teams, like the going back to basketball, like it was for Michael Jordan to beat the Detroit Pistons. Like, this may be that game to give them confidence.
That breakthrough moment. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And who knows? But do I still think that Kansas City is out of it? Do I think if Kansas City has to go back there and play in the cold, do you know how cold it gets in Kansas City, Missouri?
Oh, I remember watching Miami play there. Miami couldn't do anything.
I lived there for a year. It gets so freaking cold. People forget that.
Yeah, it's the Midwest. Yeah.
They think like it's – so what I'm trying to tell you is with all this buildup, dude, this loss does not worry me at all for Kansas City.
I'm glad they got out of the way.
Yeah. What Buffalo needs to do is they need to repeat this performance, and they need to make sure that they win that game in the playoffs because they're going to see Kansas City again. Kansas City is going to be there.
It's going to come down to those two.
Absolutely.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's coming down to them.
Yeah. Oh, cold though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw you a little bit of a curveball here.
Uh-oh.
Something that we haven't talked about before, and that's my sexuality. So we're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah, is that some oil that you got going on there?
No, I wanted to ask you about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Did you get a chance to
Oh,
watch it?
dude, you watch it?
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Hell yeah. Why would you not watch? Dude, I grew up on Mike Tyson.
I did too. You're telling me you liked it? You were pleased with it?
No, I was not at all, bro. Not at all. I
Okay.
thought,
Okay.
well, here's what I thought. Obviously, it's a money-making deal. That's what Jake Paul does. I will
He's
say
the
that.
money man. That's who
Yeah,
he
and
is.
God bless him, bro.
Yeah.
God bless him for understanding his
The art of
environment,
promotion.
what
The
he
art of
does,
marketing.
promotion, and his brother as well. What I loved, and I'm going to jump ahead to after the fight, was when Mike Tyson said, "I want to see your brother in the ring next."
Yeah, I want Logan. I want
That was
Logan. Yeah.
awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. He had to
that's
say
Iron Mike right there.
he had to
But
say something.
dude, the first 2 rounds, Iron Mike was Iron Mike. He was coming in, he was doing this, that, and the third. After that,
See, now I've heard two different versions.
he couldn't get his
Um,
legs. He couldn't get his legs underneath him, bro.
Dave last night and Frank, my other co-host, claim that Tyson was holding back in the first 2 rounds.
Dave didn't see the fight, bro. I talked to Dave
Okay.
today. He
Okay.
didn't see the fight, bro. He was just hearing stuff.
All right. They thought that he was holding back, like there was an agreement, and
Nah, man.
apparently it was known that if the fight went 4 rounds, Tyson would get an extra $5 million. So it gave.
I don't know. But what I do know is he maybe he wasn't throwing the punches he normally threw, but he was coming like the old Mike. Like he was like down here.
Yeah, he was moving. Yeah. But
know?
he just looked like he hit a wall. And
absolutely. After
the last, it was just, I mean, he landed a total of 18 punches. Like, I was just.
I think that's some BS.
Like, and a lot of people think it was arranged or fixed or whatever. And Jake Paul admitted to kind of taking his foot off the gas near the end because he didn't want to hurt him, which, I understand. It doesn't do him any good to knock out Mike Tyson at 58 years old.
No. Come
so
on,
I get that. I get that.
Come on, look, this is coming from a quarterback. Bro, if we get in the ring, it's you or me, and I'm trying to knock you out.
Well, of course.
Period. Period.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, that's an excuse on Jake Paul, man. Like, yo, I have a ton of respect for Jake Paul because I saw how he was fighting him. Like, that dude was just jabbing Mike to get him off of him.
Well, he had the length.
He kept it slow. He kept him at a distance. Every time Mike tried to move in, he would dot and
he'd get caught.
Up.
Yeah.
Dot. He did. If you watch that show, like if you watch it, you would see he kept the arm's distance with him. Mike got into his zone the first two, maybe 2.5 rounds. Why do you think it was only 2 minutes per round? Because they knew Tyson would not be able to last 3 rounds. It wouldn't even be worth money. That's where Jake Paul is a genius. Like his people are genius.
And the heavier gloves they wore. They wore the pillows on their hands.
Yeah.
They wore 14-ounce gloves.
Right. But Jake Paul's camp, they're geniuses. The promoters, geniuses. Hey, let's go down to 2. Come on, man. He's almost 60 years old, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Are you
I agree. He's a senior citizen.
Bro,
he's got an AARP card.
Yeah, I hope when I'm 60, I can take my shirt off and feel a little confident. This dude went into goddamn ring and said, hey, come on, 28-year-old, and fight me.
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on, bro. I don't think that fight was fixed. I think it was everything it should have been. it was Jake Paul. Should have knocked his ass out, to be honest with you.
He should have, but he
Mike
didn't.
knows how to protect himself with those big ass gloves. Like, you can't really get into him because those gloves are huge, and he's so small and thick. Like, dude, much respect to Mike, but I do have a lot more respect for Jake Paul because I didn't think he was as good of a boxer as he was. He was more of an MMA guy and a shit talker. And but man, he really showed Duke can kind of box, man.
Yeah, no, he can for sure. He can for sure.
Yeah.
He can for sure. And he's calling out Canelo Alvarez for the
I thought you were
cruiserweight.
going to say he was calling me out now. I was like, okay, I'll jump in the ring.
So
Give me about 27 years, Jake, and I'll be ready to fight you.
the fight before it was good.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, the fight before, the women's fight, Amanda Serrano, I thought that fight was great.
And the two Latinos.
Yes, the fight before it. Yes.
Holy, that one was unreal. Like, them jokers were going at it, bro.
Yeah. No,
Both their noses were like under their eyes by the end of the
they
fight.
said that'll be up for fight of the year.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with it.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with it. It was a good show. I just, I'm a WWE fan. So if it was a scripted WWE world, Tyson would have hit 4 uppercuts and won the match. And I would have been happy. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, just end it with
and that's why
some of these in there.
Yeah. And that's why it was 2006. Yeah. Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon's son, wanted to buy the UFC, and Vince would not approve of it. He said, "You want to buy it? Spend your own money." And Shane didn't have enough to buy it. And Vince didn't want to buy it because it was unscripted. He's like, this is real sport. Like, I'm not doing it because I can't control the outcomes. Like, if I put all this money into one guy and promote him, he loses, I'm screwed. So that's why he didn't buy the UFC. And now it's funny that they work together anyway with TKO. Yes. The other curveball I was going to throw at you was UFC 309. Did you get a chance to watch any of that?
That's a huge curveball. I swung and miss on that one.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to talk.
I didn't see
that. Yeah, John Jones won.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. He knocked out Stipe Miocic in the.
He knocked him out.
Yeah. He in the 3rd round, he beat the crap out of him.
I didn't think he'd knock him out. I thought it might be a draw, kind of.
Yeah, no, he got the knockout. He got the finish. Yeah. So then, might as well go into it. Syracuse, UConn. UConn.
Let's go with the knockout punch, bro.
Dave and I talked about it the other day. Syracuse coming off a good win against Cal.
Yeah.
After losing to BC, who was mediocre. I think, it's obviously if you look at the numbers, we broke it down because we had a bye week. So we did like a position group grading. And then, we did the matchups. McCord's thrown for 3,000 plus yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. UConn's quarterbacks combined have thrown for 18 touchdowns and I think 8 picks. Yes. And only
did my research, homeboy.
And like 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
But we have rushed for 2,000 yards, and Syracuse has only rushed for 800 yards.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think UConn obviously has to kind of. I still don't know who's going to play quarterback, and that's what drives me nuts. Yeah. Actually, I should text Burton right now and just see if he responds and can tell me.
Either or, they're both are completing at 55%. One's at 56, the other's at 54. So it's irrelevant, to be honest. They're within 50 yards, 70 or 80 yards of completion percentage. Nick Evers has 5 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Correct.
Joe Fagiano has 13 and 3. Like, yeah. And where I'm going with this is we need to this is my mindset. Get Nick Evers in there, who's more athletic, do more zone reads.
You want Nick Evers in there.
Get Cam Edwards the rock. We need to run the ball like 40 times this game.
I agree.
Keep the ball out of Kyle McCord's hands.
I agree.
My concern is Gatson, the receiver.
Gatson's awesome.
Tight end.
He's awesome.
Tight end. Like, he's a mismatch.
Huge.
Just like, if they get in the red zone, I'm throwing jump balls to him
all day.
A way to get if I'm Syracuse, I am finding ways to get one-on-one matchups. I don't care if he's a slot. I don't care if he's out wide. I am throwing a jump ball to him, even if it's a run play. If it's a one-on-one, take one step, throw it, because the offensive lineman won't be downfield, and just give him a jump ball at 6'5", 240. Just give him a chance. Yeah. You know what I mean? The guy is tough, and that's what we need to do with Skylar Bell.
I agree.
Skylar Bell the football. If we're not handing the football off to D-Rob or Cam Edwards, we need to get Skylar Bell the ball, and or get TJ Sheffield. Yeah. He's a little quick guy, whatever.
They're both good.
Create screens, create little one-on-one matchups. Dude, this is going to see how good of a coaching from an offensive standpoint, actually from all-around standpoint. I think we have – I love the fact that we're both 7-3. Let's create who is the best in the upstate area. I know Syracuse is in a different area, but UConn.
No, the Northeast. I mean, they played in the Big East for years.
Yeah.
And they're tied, actually. Their overall record is 6-6.
Yeah, exactly. They're both 7-3.
So it's going to be interesting to see. I agree with you, but I think they got to go away from Evers. I think they got to go with Joe. Evers has just been so disappointing. And when Fagiano came in the UAB game, he just the guys played for him.
I like what you say.
He lit a fire under them.
I like what you say.
I think the receivers knew, I got a chance of getting the ball thrown to me,
Right. I like it.
Whereas with Evers, they really, really limit what he does. I think they have to go back to the pistol, getting the ball downhill, north and south. I think they have to limit the east and west stuff. I think they have to do a lot of the jailbreak screens to Skylar Bell. I even like the either bubble and go, or you fake the jail, you stalk and go. That's always good.
Yes.
Don't
get too cute. Just get your playmakers the ball in space. That's all you need.
That's all it is. You're the point guard. Just be the point guard.
I think Joe gives us a better chance than Nick Evers does. I
do too. I can't believe I'm saying that, because
you were fighting me about that like 4 weeks ago.
Because I was at
you and Burton.
Yes, I went to the Temple game.
Yeah.
And he was atrocious. I thought he was awful. And the games he played in, he dominated Merrimack, he dominated FAU, and he dominated Buffalo. Right. So it wasn't, and he played awful against Maryland. Sure. So I didn't, I wasn't expecting a whole lot after I saw him in the Temple game. In the Temple game, he just looked atrocious. Yeah. But when he comes off the bench, he lights a fire under them. and he can throw the ball deep. He gives them the play action passing game. He gives them a passing game, period.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to play him.
Yeah.
And then I think it's important to focus on the run game. I'd like to see them use 12 personnel. They have 2 good tight
Yeah.
ends.
Yes.
Go 12 personnel, run some zone, divide, which I love. Have the tight end come across, wham the
I
end.
wouldn't even care if they ran 22 personnel, bro.
They don't have a
Just
true
to slow the
fullback.
game down a little
Yeah.
bit. You know what I'm saying?
If they want to go 2
Once
tailbacks
in a
and 2
while.
tight ends, I have
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know, or 13 personnel if they have another, whatever
Yeah.
they want to do. I
Yeah.
think they need to get those 2 running backs the football. Think about this. Freaking D-Rob averages 6.9 a touch. And
We got
Cam
all 3 of them.
5 yards a carry.
We got
Both
a
of those
3-headed monster.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm totally with you about Joe, because now here's what I will say. There's a reason why they're at 50%, 55% completion. They're trying to do too many things. Start to take the checkdowns. Start to build in on first down, little quick throws. Start to build on 2nd and 10, little quick throws. On 2nd and 4 or second, when it's normally a rundown, mix in a nice little, take a shot, but have a check down if it's zone, and let them understand if it's not their home run type thing, check it down now and get our guy in space.
And that's been the formula that defenses have been playing to kind of stop UConn. They've been playing man coverage. They've been playing press man, or they've been playing really tight quarters and running the
Skyler. We gotta move Skyler around.
Yeah, you gotta motion them. You gotta run picks. You gotta run mesh.
Not even picks and motions and mesh. Get him off the line so he's
in the slot
while he's on the.
I agree.
Get him in the slot, or even if he's out wide where he's comfortable, you can still get him off the line of scrimmage, because that way they can't jam him right away. You can stack him. You can run a bunch.
I love the stack. Yep. I love
all that kind of stuff, bro. Yep. And everything is the same. Like, God, dog, bro. You're getting me so worked up because I got so many ideas, man, in my head, bro.
No, that was my favorite formation. Was
killing me, bro.
I would run bunch unbalanced. So I would run bunch, 3 receivers to the field, tackle over, and put my tight end backside. So it would be center guard, tight end.
Doing a lot now.
And then it would be if they put 2 over 3 to the bunch, I'm throwing a direct screen to number 3. If they overplay the bunch, I'm just running inside zone.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite things to do.
Like, that's a lot of stuff what you said. I'm just saying simply like bunching, like where you create meshes and you create all these different things.
Yeah, I love inverting.
What you want to do is you always want to put your best guys to where if they have trouble off the jam, and I don't know enough about Skylar Bell. I don't know if he has trouble off the jam. I don't know. TJ Sheffield, I don't know if he has trouble off the jam. Haven't seen enough film of him.
Gavin, I know Josiah. I don't think they have trouble. I just think like Evers looks at the pass rush.
But to create, well, that's his problem.
I don't think he looks downfield.
Then we don't play him. Then if he's
that's why I think Joe. Yeah, I think
Joe.
I think you got to go Joe.
But to create easy things, you got to understand down and distance. You got to understand where you're on the field. You got to understand, situational type football. We all say that now, but it'll be. I'm excited about this game, man. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm going to it. I'm going, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I think the big thing is UConn matching up with them defensively because they play that 3-3-5.
Yes.
They have, Syracuse has two receivers who are incredible. One of them has 70 receptions on the year and like 12 touchdowns. They have Gadsden. They have four receivers who have 50 catches or more.
Yeah.
We don't have a receiver who has 40 catches.
Ooh.
So
that goes to the quarterback play, though.
Kyle McCord, 100%.
Around.
Yeah.
It goes also to Gadsden because they move him around. It goes to the coaching. So that's going to be difficult. You're 100% right because they take advantage of mismatches. They have receivers that can run. They have a tight end, quote unquote, tight end that in the red zone, good luck covering him. Jump off. Yeah, you got to get what we need to do to win this game defensively. Number one, we need to get them in second, third, and long. Number two, we need to make sure that we get pressure on them in the red zone so they don't have time to think about things.
Yeah, because that's what Pitt did. Pitt zone blitzed them. Pitt gave them a bunch of different looks, and Pitt had the 5 interceptions. And I think that's what we're going to have to do. The 3-3-5 is a pressure-oriented defense. So he's going to have to bring pressure, and he's going to have to disguise it well. He's going to have to do a lot of the zone blitzing. They did a nice job before where they would walk up the Mike and the Will in the A gap and the B gap, and they would twist with the nose and the Mike and then drop out the Will. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good pressure. They would bring usually from the boundary. They'd bring like the boundary rover and the boundary sand or boundary Will, double inside and drop the end. They have exotic blitz packages. It's just about getting into them. And the only thing that scares me, like I said, is when we blitz, we play man. And, we have to disrupt the timing so our blitz gets there. I don't like playing man behind blitzes. I like playing cover 33, 3 under 3 deep. I like playing 4 under 2 deep, 33. When you play man or cover 0 or whatever, I always get scared by that. That's my only fear.
That's where we have to. That's where I was saying coaching is going to be a big part of this game, and execution. Like you're right though. The defense we play, it's gap oriented. Like you got to stick to that gap, hug that thing, and then stay true, and go upfield with some kind of control.
Correct.
But at the same time, you got to take chances at the right time now, and you got to bring a corner blitz every now and then from the back.
You do.
You got to bring field blitz, 4 strong, and absolutely like play zone behind it. Kind of deal when he check. It'll be interesting, man. Because
McCord makes mistakes. If we can,
we've had 2 weeks. We've had 2 weeks now, right?
Preparation, yes, we have.
So come on, man. If we can't really, this is like, remember training camp? Every time you go into, your first week when you were in college and you had training camp and then you had a week to prepare. You were always prepared the most for that first game. Now, how you executed,
you're right.
A different story.
You're right.
And then we always made the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2, but you were always prepared for week 1.
Because we'd start early. You're right.
Yeah.
We'd start a week early.
Know what I'm saying?
You're right.
But you always prepare for week 1. Because if you don't win that first game, dog, everybody's down in the dumps kind of a deal. No, you win that first game. This is our first game. And that's how we got to approach it mentally. Like if I was in that locker room, that's how I would sell. Like I would sell it that way, and I'd be like, "You're getting me all amped up, man."
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna put you on the spot again before we go.
Yeah.
UConn at Syracuse. It's a noon game. Syracuse is minus 10.5, and the over/under is 54.5. Who are you going with?
54.5. Ooh. It got to be under that. I would say you know I want the Huskies. In order for that to happen, I would say it's going to be right around a 34-31 game or a 31-30 game UConn.
We're
Somewhere
a second
around.
half team. Yep, I agree.
Somewhere
Um,
around. I know that's 60 points, but I don't know if we have that in us. Hold on, I've not done it.
we averaged we're right on
Yeah.
we're right on par with them offensively. We averaged 31 points a game,
Yeah.
both of us.
We
But
got to
obviously,
get. We're gonna. I think up there. I think we're gonna have to score a little more, man.
yeah. So I am going to say if Joe plays,
Oh, I didn't know there were asterisks.
well, there is. I'm just saying. It's my show. I can do whatever I
Yeah.
want. So
Yes.
shove it up your ass. How about that?
You're right.
So
It is the best show in the universe. Damn right.
if Joe Figiano plays quarterback, UConn will win 30 to no, I'll go 30 to 24.
Okay.
If Nick Evers plays, Syracuse wins 35-10.
Ooh,
That's my prediction. And I'm sticking to it. So
Whoa.
yeah. I don't think we have a shot with Nick. I really don't.
Whoa.
And
I
Burns
do
gonna
agree
kill
with
me
you
for
on
saying
that one.
that. Burns gonna kill me for saying
I.
that.
It's.
Hopefully he doesn't watch.
Hey, I didn't agree with him. Ixnay that one. But no, I do think we need to score. Basically, we need to score 30 points to win this game.
We can though. We can with Joe.
So we both agree on that part.
Yes.
We got to score 30 points.
Syracuse is, they score offensively. Yes,
And
but they give
here's
up a
the
lot of
great
yards.
thing about playing in the dome: it's not loud.
No,
They'll
there won't be a
make
huge
checks.
crowd.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, they will, and they clap too, which I still can't get over. I
Yeah,
hate that.
they do that.
I hate that. No, I mean the clap with the snap. I hate that. I hate no. The quarterback when he wants
Jesus
the ball, he
Christ.
claps. I hate it. I don't know how it works. I have no idea how it works.
Dude,
I know.
Have you ever?
Drives me nuts.
Have you ever been on the field with the clap?
Yes. Yeah, and it works, and it blows my mind. Yeah, I can't believe anyone hears it.
It's the best thing ever.
And the fake clap works. Yeah, I know.
It really is. I used to real quick when I was coaching in high school and at Fort Scott. I used to do when we would warm up because we never used the clap. I said, "Hey, when we warm up, I want you to do the fake clap so that when the defense yeah,
that's smart.
Yeah, so I was like, anytime, like I said, because everybody, how every defense watches the coordinators warm up.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would always say, just do that.
Oh my God,
everybody's like, why are we doing this? I was like, don't worry about it. Shut up.
Yeah.
Do what I tell you, and then
that's smart. That's really ingenious. That's ingenious.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, another grand episode of Festivus in the books. Festivus for the rest of us. It's amazing. Thank you, Shane. Shane Stfford.
We're only going to get better.
Well, we're getting better every week. Shane Stfford, UConn, legendary quarterback, and our prediction for Syracuse. We'll see what happens. For the Studio 25 Podcast Network, Creative Outpost, executive producer David E. Warner. Please don't fire us. This is Steve Cully and Steve Cully's Festivus of Sports. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at Syracuse.